Hello everyone, thanks here. Sorry for the delay, but apparently, that was a last minute delay that occurred. So as soon as, yep, we're about to get started now. As you can see, this is a game between Strider656 playing as Hunters and Mr. Green playing as Dracula for League 2025 League Phase. There it goes. Alright. Let's see what happens here. So if anyone wants to take a guess as to where Dracula will begin, with Strider opting for a Peace Wizard setup. Any guesses as to where? Hello, Determinator? Yes, another big game. Mr. Green will be trying his best to end Mr. Green. Mr. Green, other way around. Mr. Green will be trying to end Strider's now 7-0 streak of wins and make it so that he goes to 7-1. So, with it being Pete's Wizard setup, where do you think Dracula's begun? As the first week supply train begins. Okay, rifle and long night. Okay, sure. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's see. Evil presence. Okay. So first encounter is not adjacent to anyone, but that's not really that surprising. Okay, yeah, usual trading. Yeah, there's really nothing interesting to talk about at present. Obviously, the fact that Strider is as of yet undefeated in the league phase, despite having played, despite this being his ace game now. You're going that, saying that, okay, so Determinator is saying that Dracula went for an eastern start, but where? Is it going to be Athens start? Varna? Galatz? We'll see. those were some pretty junky cards that that he was able to discard. Alright. Okay, discarding garlic and what? Found a horse. Okay then. Alright. Snuffleupagus is going for Spain start. Which, okay. Yeah. Cadiz start, and Snuffleupagus is being a bit more specific and going with Cadiz is the first encounter. Alright. When you say snuff just for variety, I take it you mean that you're only saying that you do agree that he's likely in the East, but you're gonna go with Spain, so we have variety of predictions. Will they get a newspaper today? So, Charlie and Snuff, do you want anyone in particular to win? Are you rooting for either of them in particular? Alright, Snuff. So, apparently that's just for variety, was just to have a bit more chatter, huh? Okay. Very well. Being you got being undefeated against Strider656, so you gotta root for MG. Oh, yeah, I can definitely understand that. For my part, and Terminator is also rooting for MG. I have a little bit of a split loyalty here because Strider winning, even though he is likely going to be my the one that gets cancelled out for my medium Burkhold score, it will still help if he wins, because that's one fewer point of medium Burkholds for all of Mr. Green's opponents. So in theory it still helps a little if Strider wins. That being said, I don't care. Oh, okay, so you're right that it's Spain, but it was not Cadiz first. Excellent weather. I might have held that, especially since Spain can often lead into England. So, oh, seems to have all the way at ones already if he's moving by horse already. Interesting. Yeah, when Dracula starts in Spain, I would say keep the excellent weather for going back into England, if you can. Either that, or in the event he sails east, save it for a hop across the Adriatic, if possible. So I'm not sure I agree with the excellent weather across the channel. I mean, okay, it means that Van Helsing gets to trade tonight, but very little else. Okay. Do the hunters have an early newspaper that they can use to show the exact location of this? That is the next question. Apparently not. Okay, does Gladami have a horse? Although, then again, even if he does have a horse, I mean, if he's holding a yellow 2, that would be just as useful. Yep. Yeah, so the hunters are on the move. Okay, Seward's got a horse. I suppose go to Madrid, maybe? See when he went there? Okay, so that was where he was just there, apparently. Okay, a mob. I'm not at all sure why Mr. Green decided to ambush there. Okay, he has not been to Saragossa. That's interesting. I noticed a spike on Twitch viewers. Feel free to say hi, folks. No, if you want to, of course. Alright. Staying another day is a little bit bold, because if they had if the hunters had played a renewed vigor, they might have a reasonable chance to jump on him, potentially 3-on-1. So that was a little bit bold, staying one more day. But interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so first encounter is at Alicante, which apparently Van Helsing will have to go get it. Does Dracula stay in Spain yet again? Because that Van Helsing just came from Saragossa, so we know. The thing is that Dracula could actually be at Bordeaux, so he could actually be out of Spain now. Okay, it was a hoax at Granada. Okay, with that delay, I would say that it's safe enough for Dracula to stay one more day. Although, well, I was about to say that it'll now take Mina to take out Cadiz, but they have enough time to deal with that, fortunately. So, hey there, Captain Joe. Still no renewed vigor. Okay, so it's really like, it's really highlighting that the hunters didn't get an early renewed vigor because, well, then again, with 2 hunters delayed, I suppose they wouldn't they likely wouldn't use it. Okay, that was a blood transfusion discredited. No real surprise there. Yeah, it was a saboteur plus hoax. In case you missed that, Jaro. Oh. Yep, he did go to Santander, then Bordeaux. Yeah, nice double delay indeed. That has bought him more time. But do you stay on land this time? I suppose it will depend on whether or not Mia searches this mob. Yeah, and even with that, I mean, on the assumption that you're at Nantes right now, because I would assume that you would stay on the coast. Then again, perhaps he is not staying on the coast. Yep. Local evil rumor presence. That is an interesting event. It would be an interesting custom event to combine the two events into one card. Okay. Alright. That being said, yeah, we did have one evil presence earlier. So, evil presence is very unlikely. Where does Van Helsing go? Does he have a horse? Is he just going to use a rail ticket? Don't know. Okay, so going with a rail ticket to go up to Santander. Alright. He's cleaning up the trail very nicely. Yeah, I agree that it's best to supply with me because you don't want to walk onto Nantes, onto a height at Nantes. So I agree that it was best to supply with me there. Okay, another hoax. Well, that's both hoaxes dealt with, and as well as both mobs. Okay, does Van Helsing have a weapon? He does, but he is not afraid to show his cards. So there is a money trail, and there is a charred carriage, and then he has knife, rifle, heavenly host. Very interesting. Wait, not heavenly host, holy circle. So, whoops. Yeah. So I would say that so far things are going well for Strider. Uh, hello, Scott Sword. So we had a saboteur into hoax into into mob into spy into another mob. That's what. And so far, Strider has succeeded in clearing all the encounters. So nothing. Oh, what have we got here? Whoa, what a hand! 2 recklesses, a new vamp, and both fogs. Well, there and a fog rather. That is interesting. Okay, he is still in Gallia, which means that he did not go to Geneva. Or if he did, he went Clermont-Ferrand, Geneva, and now is back in France. It was a Pizza Wizard start, Scott Sword. So I suppose third time's the charm for guessing what sort of setup he went for. Yes, Dracula's. I would say Dracula's in a. While Strider is in a good spot for this early in the game, Drac is by no means in a bad spot. I would say that both the sides are more or less striking, more or less even so far. It is noteworthy that we have only seen 2 horses so far, and I don't recall Gul'dam showing a horse. It's quite possible that that's what he's been digging for here in Marseille. Ooh, moving into a lair. Okay. If he's lucky, it'll just be an aristocratic vamp that he chucked in. Okay, whatever. Steward will be able to heal that right back up. Okay, I wouldn't even have bothered revealing for that one. What? I'm not sure what you're saying, Gyro. Oh, interesting. So he actually did go. So he either went through Clermont-Ferrand, but except we know that this spot here is in Gallia, so it's possible that we went Clermont-Ferrand, Paris, Le Havre, and now he hid. Interesting. The fact that he has now not been to Nantes is interesting, to be sure. People in the chat, any guess where Dracula is? There was a psychic scan that said that he is in Gallia at the point of this card here. So, anyone have a guess? That's where he is. 41 now, like as of this newest move? Possibly. Possibly. So Scott's what it calls 41. Gracious. This last horse seems to be very buried. Okay. You're saying that this is 41, and then which would mean that this card has to be Strasbourg. Okay. So chat seems to have the opinion that it's northern Germany at this point. Northern Germany / Italy, like in this area of the board. Okay, Snuff calls Zurich. Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting because let's keep in mind that when we drew that behind the veil, which was I think 2 Dracula moves ago, I think 2 Dracula moves ago, he had 3 fighter vamps in hand. So we're gonna need some stakes, and we've seen 2 discarded so far. So Strider may have a little bit of a tough time clearing the trail if there are a lot of fighter vamps to deal with. The other spy. I will say that... Oh, me losing a knife. I will say that we have seen a lot of pairs. Which I can't say this is a relatively minor thing, I suppose, but I can't say that I like all these pairs that we're seeing of things that Dracula has used, because that helps the hunters narrow down what they're about to encounter as the next thing. Because now they know there's no hoaxes left, there's no spies, there's no mobs. So the only damaging encounters that are left, they know, are, well, there's one rats. But more likely than not that will be a lair thing. So it'll the only reasonable damaging encounters that are left are the bodyguards and the 2 bodyguards and the 2 wolves. Okay, so Gladaming finally found his horse. Okay. Time to get hunting. Alright, so... Yeah, I may have been mistaken as to when the psychic scan happened. Wait, except that was... Yeah, no, that's where I said it was. So, checking Paris. He has not been there. Okay. So it looks as if you may have hit the nail on the head there, Scott Sword. Okay. Yeah, me going to a big city to reload after losing that knife. Saboteur. Okay. Do we have a pistol or rifle on Gladaming? We do not. Either that or he just doesn't care enough to show it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are actually no rifles left. Okay, that's 2 hunters delayed. But that is also... Whoa. Okay, now. So he's actually still in France. So that seems to imply that he is... that he went to Brussels and has circled back up and around and is possibly at Nantes now. Uh, yeah, that, like you, yeah, that's right, Scott. You're right there, Scott Sword. That is a massive piece of info for Strider. On the other hand, he could be like at Brussels, and like the other ones are Frankfurt and Cologne. It doesn't mean that all of these are in Gallia, of course. All right. So, what will it be, Seward? Where are you gonna go? Yeah, while it is a huge win for Strider to, not at Nantes. Okay, so where is he? That means that it has to be something along the lines of like he just came back, only just came back into France, that he did go into Germany at least for a bit, which means that he has been at Brussels at some point or another for that to be the case. Yes, Strider is Hunters. Today he played Dracula in their first matchup. Yeah, I agree that that psychic scan was very good for Strider, but on the other hand, Mr. Green has been buying quite a bit of time with all these. Oh, okay. So, Roadblock and Great Wolf. Okay. Mr. Green has been buying a lot of time with all these delaying encounters because that's now the second Saboteur on the board. There's been an Aristocratic, 2 hoaxes. There's been a lot of delays on the Hunter side, hence why there's quite a reasonable amount of trail out there. So, where now? I think at a guess it's Frankfurt. It's possibly looped up into Amsterdam. I think that it kind of has to be at Le Havre at this point. Does he do a wolf form, perhaps? He has a lair at Bordeaux that he could go to. But if you do that... Okay. This will be interesting. Yeah, but okay, so he must have like, is that a high card perhaps? Because it was either here or here where they scanned. So I think it was this one, and then after that, which means that I think he went Frankfurt, Cologne, then looped back into Brussels, or either that or Cologne, Amsterdam, Brussels, and now is hiding at Le Havre. I think that's what's going on. Strider seems to have caught on that. What? Hasn't been at Le Havre at all? This is ridiculous. Alright, so that's Brussels. Okay, so he briefly dipped into France before going to Amsterdam. I see. So he's now hiding at Amsterdam, is what's going on. Okay. Interesting. I would not have ambushed, as this means that he'll be delayed by night. There are, last I checked, there are 2 stakes available. Okay. And I discussed earlier Van Helsing did the usual excellent weather jump across the channel when he came to the mainland. I was saying that I might have kept that around. Not bad timing. That's actually a pretty good timing on the Harker there, Jonathan Harker. Descrae's soil. Okay. Does Seward have a heavenly host? And there's the reshuffle. So fog number 3 is back in the draw pile. Yeah, encounter economy is looking good for Dracula. Oh. Uh-oh. Does Mia have the heavenly host and she is going to do it? Well, not necessarily. That's actually not 100% true. Or I suppose yes, since it's all clogged up in that area. I suppose that's a good point. You could have searched since it has to be Frankfurt, and you kind of know the ordering at this point. Fair enough, but it could still be useful. There's merit to both paths. I think I'll say that. Simply say that. Okay, headed out to sea. Now the hunters have a chance to catch up with the trail. So we have a soil here. Do we have any discarded heavenly hosts? No, we don't. Not yet. So that means that there are at least 2 heavenly hosts in people's hands. Local rumors. Oh, that would have been quite nice. Next turn, if Dracula chose to take another sea move, that would have been quite nice. Shame. Reckless Vampire under the high card. So this is okay. Obviously, this is looking like a double vamp. Will he manage to get a ambush point? Mez, okay. Typical Mez into escape. Okay, will Seward punch? Or alternatively, does Seward do pistol? Because he has already shown pistol for getting rid of a saboteur earlier. Dull Vamp Classic Miss Green. Okay, so you went. Okay, Strider apparently sensed the strength coming. Yep. OG strats. Strider not so lucky this time around. All this talk of multiple vamps in the initial location, but vamp plus hide is the original. I suppose I wouldn't know, as I was not around. I've not been around as long as you, so. Claw into knife. Okay. Simply making sure that he doesn't get the point. that being... That's... Yeah, that being said, Sewer did take 4 damage. So that's... So that combat, I think, went... While it wasn't what the sort of thing Mr. Green was hoping for, it at least... It was definitely fine. Claw into pistol. Whoa. Okay. Do we got a Holy Bullets play here? Apparently. Well, well, well. Nicely done. Yep, locked and loaded. Yeah, all that ruckus for the hide vamp, and then Strider just casually pulls out his pistol and bang, gone. Oh, and there's the third reckless vampire. Yeah, lots of fighter vamps. And the thing is, we know that Mr. Green had at least one new vamp at his disposal earlier when we saw Behind the Veil. Because at that time he had 2 of these recklesses, a new vampire, and both the fogs. Which, speaking of the fog, that's yet to show itself, so I would imagine that he still has it in his hand. Okay. Once again, no influence point. Okay, well this is interesting. Okay, so Mina can now travel to Cologne to deal with that. Or at least attempt to deal with it. Oh, so Mia does have an Alien host. Okay, why didn't you search it last night then? So that you could move today. Because you had that option. He chose to rest instead to regain her last HP. Possibly a slight oversight on Strider's part there. One thing going for Dracula is the fact that well, first of all, this encounter economy is definitely one thing going for him, and secondly, there's the fact that we are already within the 3rd week. And he is only just now taken his first bit of damage. He has wolf form, so... Okay, yeah, Strider using the old trick of keeping count for mystic research. That is also true. Strider isn't overly supplied. Oh, well, lol. Yeah, he hasn't gone through. Yeah, considering that of the, oh, yep, staking the. That's now there's only 1 stake left. That being said, so of the, let me see, that's 33 events drawn. Out of those 33, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 25 hunter events drawn, and a good number of those are accounted for in the discard pile. So the hunters have 12 events between the lot of them total. Okay. Okay, yeah. Second. So in terms of proxy events, we've drawn 1 of each already. So Does Gladaming try to supply evil presence or local rumors? Apparently so. He discarded another blood transfusion. That's now both blood transfusions gone. Oh no. Okay. Okay, so we're going to cover West Coast? Sure. And then possibly Van Helsing goes to a deal with Cologne. Meanwhile, and then while everyone else deals with the rest? Okay, apparently no. Apparently Mina's gonna be the one to do the job. So we know that Mina has a heavenly host. But as soon as the hunters deal with this encounter, or once that encounter matures, Dracula will be out of the encounters that the hunters had to deal with. Now that he's out at sea. Oh, Mia has the last stake, and it's bats. Okay. In which case, I might have actually ambushed there, because then you could have sent her into the hide vamp for a night fight. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what I would have done. I imagine that she's still gonna be sent into the hide vamp, so that she can try to get an ambush point, but not bad. But that's really not the worst thing for Strider. Is that wolf form? Nope. Third sea zone. So is he in North Atlantic now? Is he in Irish Sea, English Channel, South Atlantic? We know that Van Helsing was holding money trail. It's time for that. It's about time we see that money trail. Okay. All right, spy. Okay, yeah, because he knows that Mystery knows that she's not hypnosis, escape route, and surprising return. Okay, and there go those tickets. So that could really mess up Strider's horse economy. But then again, in this area of the board, rails will typically do enough. Oh, Strider revealing that apparently Mio's holding double white one. Oh dear. That is not good for the hunters. So, in this case, if you're in North Atlantic or South Atlantic, I would land soon, because, like, possibly in a spot that's hard to get to without horses. Like, try to make them burn the horses or something. Yep, rip horse economy. That's right, Gyro. At least for now. That is the case. Yeah. And we're actually not too far away from week 4. Okay, wolf formed ashore. Okay. But from where? We know that Van Helsing at one point or another was holding Money Trail. It's possible that he may have passed on to Godalming. Which, oh, still rolling horses. Okay, got away with it. So, I don't understand why there's no Money Trail being played here, because we know he has it. And besides, that could be Irish Sea. Or Channel. There are a lot of possible locations there are a lot of possible. It could be any of these 4 seas as that last sea. So why aren't you gracious? Why aren't you doing it? All right. I wonder if he was joking with that. Because if either that or he got lucky in redrawing them like basically immediately. There it is. South Atlantic. Okay. Well, I honestly don't wonder why there has been no Monkey Trail, Gyro, because that card does not exist in this game. Simple as that. Yeah. Okay. Chances are he's at Alicante right now. But let's keep in mind that at this point, he is getting close to being able to reshuffle the encounter deck again. So at this point, it is unlikely that he has not redrawn that fog that got sniped by Behind the Veil. So he can be relatively secure. Just hiding under 2 fogs. Yeah, and the thing is, that would also help with the timeline, because if if he, on the assumption that he is at Alicante with a fog, oh, what? Okay, what the? Apparently, it was an aristocratic in that lair. On the assumption that he is sitting on a fog here, and he hides places down the other fog, that would be Saturday move, hide, Sunday move, hop into the Mediterranean, and then you can fetch. Well, I suppose CAG wouldn't be a good idea after just having hidden, so that scratch that thought, but uh, okay, using another mystic research supply. Discarding a newspaper reports. Does he hide? Well, it seems like it, because with South Atlantic on the trail for this long, I can't see him just sticking around too long. Yep, okay. Is it a double fog? And if so, is he going to ambush with it? Bats and fog. Okay. Okay. Alright. So now another question for Dracula to consider is, does he feed, perhaps? Before going to sea? Or do you just hop into sea immediately? I would personally hop into the sea immediately. So that you can get a head start. Especially now that Mina chose to move further in. Then just go to Ionian, and at that point you'll have Wolfform back, Wolfform into the east, and well, we've seen quite a few hunter events that are not CG. Yep. I do wonder what's under this. Going with feed. I can't say that I agree. I would say the feed... Well, I suppose doing it just before week 4, but then again, you're already almost certainly going to jump into the sea. Yeah, it's a tough choice. On the one hand, you're protected by fog, so this is a guaranteed spot where you can do it. Oh, uh-oh. Very funny. Uh, Very funny, by the way. This is an interaction you don't see very often. Did you notice that Golden got to supply even though he has a Bats token on him? Reason for that is because he's in fog, and fog traps you in the city, so the Bats can't even activate. Okay. That's now proxy event at least number 3. Yeah, Mia has the last stake, we know, so... I mean, if this is a vampire you can ambush with, now's the time to ambush. Yes, I believe so, Determinator. I believe that the Bats will now trigger right now. And he can push him into whatever Madrid happens to be. Or just make him be a little bit more out of the way. Fair enough. Kind of. That's one way of putting it, Terminator. The thing is that since Strider has all the hunters down there, I see no particular reason why Mr. Green can't just go, say, Mediterranean, Wolfhorn Tabari, hide. Well, he may not be able to hide, but basically get some points at Bari, then go to Adriatic. Oh, it was a new vampire. He must have lost. Missed that Mia actually had a stake. Interesting. Yep, out to sea we go. Discarding the last newspaper. Is that the last newspaper? No, that's only the second one. That one is the last newspaper. Okay. Yeah, no wolf from Med, but to be honest, if I were Drac, I wouldn't do wolf form from Med anyway. I would wait a little bit longer, make more distance. Very interesting that they all chose to supply, I will say. How many Drac events are in the discard? 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, only 9. Wow, so there's still 14 Drac events in that pile. Oh, here's the fun thing about the feed. He can actually go South Atlantic if he wants to. Now, and since he knows that they no longer have Money Trail, they will not. Since they used that previously, they do not know whether he's going to go to England or whether he's going to go east. So, and this is another reason why I would not. In this case, I would wait till either Ionian or English Channel. Depending on how you do. Basically, I would move a total of 3 seas. Yes, the hunters. And what's more, we know that Mina is holding hypnosis. It was shown is being shown to us now, and previously was shown to a spy. Before that, it was being shown face up. But the problem with hypnosis, of course, is that it he won't be able to do that until after he lands. Have there been any speed telegraphs discarded? No. And since there's only 15 hunter events left in there, I think it's very likely that he'll have one of them. So, speed telegraph, hypnosis with Mina, and then well, yeah, so I would move at least one more C space. And then, personally, I would be heading towards the castle, because the moment you land, you're going to start scoring points like 3, 6, 9, and then go to the castle for 12, and then make sure to lay down a reckless vampire somewhere along the way. Try to get the last point that way. Oh! This is interesting. Okay, speed telegraph. So 2 C spaces. Okay, RV. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I like a normal landing. Okay, Harker. Yeah, summoning Harker back so that he can search. Not Genoa. Okay. Yeah. This is seeming like it's a normal landing at... Is this going to Santander? Because that's not a place where they can nuke you back out to sea. I don't know. What? This is... I can't say I like this move from Mr. Green. Gnosis, he's in Italy. Okay, so that's... Okay, so it's not Genoa, and unless he wants to do Dark Hall Hide Feed, then it won't be CAG either. And then he'll have to go med. And then again, doing that might not be the worst of ideas. Either that, or it's either he's at CAG or he's risking taking a serious risk in getting bunted back out to sea. Okay. Sense of emergency. Okay, so that'll get him as far as Rome. Do we have a heroic leap, perhaps? Okay, not Rome. Alright, let's keep in mind that Dracula guaranteed has access to another fog. Since we only saw one fog down there at Alicante, that's the only fog we've seen all game, and he's reshuffled the deck, and he is the next time he places an encounter, he's gonna have reshuffled the deck twice. Okay. All right. Okay, so now what does... Okay. This is interesting. I don't entirely know what to think about this. Because Mr. Green knows that there is only one excellent weather maximum, if there are any excellent weathers at all. Oh, there's CG. Okay. However, if you're gonna do it... Oh, Naples. It was Naples, and he put down a hoax. Yeah, you definitely should have wolf formed there. If you're gonna go to that area, you definitely need to wolf form. And now he's forced to go into Seward or Godalming. Mia, by revealing hers, can so he's gonna be forced into Seward. In doing so, he will get some more influence points, but this is very bad, especially since the hunters have Aggie. That being said, it's not out of the... Oh, yep, heroic leap. Okay, with that, I think that the hunters should have this. Seward rests tonight. Seward rests today to get back up out of one claw equals death range. Well, it's not necessarily GG yet, but that being said, it's most likely GG. Okay, what have they got for combat events? Seward has planned ambush. All right. So that means, yeah, that basically means GG. That was a deadly mistake. Okay, yeah. Strength, and he went punch, okay? Yeah, so now he chooses, I suppose, a heavenly host to... Yep. Plotting? Okay. Yeah, that's GG. Well played. You will play both. This game will be a 7 IDS win for Strider, continuing his streak. That's now 4 rounds, and that's now 4 rounds where he has successfully 2-0'd his opponent. Post game chat. See if these guys want to have a bit of a chat about the game. But you're welcome, Snuff. Sure. Yep. MG's gonna be here. Yep. Okay, so they're gonna come after they finish their report. Days past 26. But for those of you who watch on YouTube, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Bye. That's basically yeah, you would have Hello, welcome to the screen.
Yeah, thank you. Plus it's your job then to dethrone him.
Well, let's wait till Strider gets in, and then we can chat a bit about the game.
Yeah. We played
Okay.
well.
That's
a single fang. I did get them. So
hey Strider, welcome in. In any event, what did you think of the game overall, Strider?
It was a slow burn. It was like just taking care of the encounters and clearing. I was mad at myself. I only had one forewarned on Sword. So I was worried with the double fog and outlook hunt to trap multiple hunters. That would happen. That would go off.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was actually what was there. I had that thought as well. You weren't the only one.
I thank you very much for landing in Italy. That's very kind of you.
Yeah, that is really what tipped the game, because it would have at least have been much closer if you had gone one more sea space, because that would have left the possibility of both England and Baltica. So I think that, and if you're gonna land that turn, then you definitely need to at least feign a wolf form.
Yeah, I want to hear from Mr. Green. What do you think?
well, I was kind of desperate at that point. I still needed. I had zero influence. So
Yeah.
even if you were a bit confused, I would need it to survive a long bit to win. So I thought I'd just gamble on you not having CG.
Yeah, I did CG like the second day of the game. I was rolling without weight ones for a while, just so you know too.
Yep.
Nina had both. I wasn't kidding about that.
Congratulations for your win, Strider. Continuing your streak. That's now your first 4 opponents down. So until your next opponent, your undefeated streak will continue.
Whatever my next opponent's gonna be.
I'm pretty sure that everyone already knows, but it shall be none other than myself who will have to face Strider next. So I'll have a challenge on my hands. But that being said, well, I was a semi-finalist for a reason last year, so perhaps I may be able to. And I was able to teach Wakajic a lesson in trying to establish an early streak. So we'll see if I can do the same. Aim to cut off yours.
But I will say that Mr. Green, I really liked your bats. I just felt bad that like all the vampires were dead by the time I searched it.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you keep your win streak now when you're beating.
Yeah.
Thanks, Miss. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Means a lot coming from you.
Yeah, your wins actually still benefit me for me and Buckhold slightly, as it means that Mr. Green's opponents now get less MB bonus from MGE. So that does still help me, albeit less directly. When you think about it.
Thanks for your patience, though, and me taking my shower and stuff. I appreciate it. So I was like, oh, I got to actually record this. I can't look like a bum. Waking up.
You can always do it off camera if you wanted to, but one way or another, I thank you everyone on Twitch for watching, and see you all next time. Bye.